Hi guys, welcome back to RT Share Tea, where respiratory therapists live out loud. With me, your host Linda Fry, the Asthma Lady. Yes, welcome back everybody. Welcome to anybody new. I'm just so happy to be here today. I'm just coming off I'm just coming off of work, but this weekend we just had the hospital's annual holiday party, and this year's theme was tiara and bow ties and tiara, which was a fun theme. And I plan that every year with the employee recognition committee, so that was cool. But anyway, I just want to say welcome back to everybody, and guys, thank you for the support. And just know that we are growing together. There is so much more to come. I'm super excited. And I got a few guest co-hosts coming in the pipelines coming up. So very, very excited. People just want to come on and share their perspectives on how it is to do different things in the respiratory care field, or around asthma, or just in the health field in general. And they want to, come on RT Share Tea. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, so this episode is on home environmental assessments. We're piggybacking off last week's episode, but this week's episode we're going to talk about the red flags, right? And the follow-ups, like the linkage of care and all that stuff, and how we do that. Okay, so last week I was talking about home environmental assessments and helping those with asthma identify asthma triggers in the home. So things that make their asthma worse or give them an asthma attack, and identifying these in the home. So we were talking about doing home visits and being on the team, the detective team, and figuring this thing out. All right, so I'm going to put the description for that episode I'm going to put the video, attach it to this episode. So yes, I didn't discuss the red flags. Okay, so I told you what the prep work was, and I also told you kind of like the no-nos, what we're looking for during the home visit when we're in patients' homes. But now I didn't really give you kind of like, the signs that maybe things aren't as we thought. So I'm going to give you a few of those right now. So boom, number one, you don't go in the home if it looks like there was a party, right? So everything is planned well in advance, and we plan it together with the caregiver or the guardian, so they are well aware of when we are coming, or supposed to. So if you're on your way to the home and you're at the door, and the person opens the door and it seems like they had a party, meaning like everything is everywhere and there's a bunch of people in the house, and it's just you, the community health worker, the community liaison, the respiratory therapist, the public health educator, whatever, that's in the patient home, just you by yourself, I would not tell you to go into the home. So a matter of fact, my own team, I tell them if they see this scenario, they can always gracefully just be like, oh, I forgot something in the office. I have to return back. I'm so sorry. We just have to reschedule. So know that there's always a respectful way to back out, or have an exit strategy for those type of things. And those things do happen. I've seen that situation before. So that's one. Number two, if there is evidence of like drugs all over the place, or just like, once again, the door is open and you just see beer bottles or alcohol all over the place, or any other recreational drug kind of, everywhere, once again, we kind of just backpedal and, red flag. We just start to, walk backwards. Hey, I forgot something. I'm going to talk to the manager. and see if I can come back. And then, you just come back. They come back to the hospital. So that is also a situation. We've had that one. Another red flag is when you have caregivers or the guardian asks for home visits at awkward times. So we try to offer hours outside of the normal business hours because we know people got to work. And so I did have a situation where, we had a male educator that was going to the home, and the caregiver, the guardian, would ask him to come over on the weekends, like towards the evening, and then she would be not wearing something appropriate for that time. So that was another one where I had to say, okay, backpedal back to the hospital, and we can just figure it out or reschedule or have someone else take the caseload or whatever, because ultimately we want to make sure everyone is safe and comfortable. So this role as a case manager that does home visits is really, in the last video I spoke about, it really depends on your emotional intelligence. So just knowing how to read people, read the room, and just get the vibe of what's going on for that day. So it really depends on stuff like that, and things like intuition, like just following your own. For example, if you don't feel safe getting on an elevator, or if something tells you I should not get on this elevator or this dark stairwell or this block, just go with your gut. That's what I tell people. Go with your gut, because you have to be able to navigate through those things. A lot of the times people, and I'm speaking from the urban space, okay, so urban space, so I don't really know how this, and someone who does home visits, home environmental assessments, where you go into the patient's home, if you do this in a rural area, please, I would love to have you on, and we can have that perspective too. I would love that. All right, guys, so yes, I'm talking about the urban space. So people know when you're not from their block. They know when you're not from that neighborhood. They know when you're a new face or if you are a service provider. So, you just want to make sure that you're not being followed, or the wrong people are not, just checking out the scene and just trying to see what moves you're making. So those are all the red flags. So I really wanted to mention that. I always want to be as transparent as possible, as I personally, I love what I do. I don't just send people out to patient homes. I also go to patient homes myself, but I always tell people we have to be safe. The way I get down, if the doors swing funny, I'm not going in. If the dog is barking too hard, I'm not going in, because at the end of the day, I can't help you if something happens to me. You understand what I'm saying? So, we just have to make sense in that rate. We have to make sure that we all good. Right? So yes, okay, so those are the red flags. And then now when we're talking about linkage of care, so when we talk about linkage of care, so after we do the home environmental assessment, we come with a remediation plan, which just means like a plan that help you get rid of whatever the issues are, whether it be mold, pests, mice, dealing with mice or roaches, dealing with secondhand smoke or ventilation issues. So we come up with a plan to kind of help you to reduce these problems as much as possible, or get rid of it altogether. And so the linkage of care are like the other services that we can refer you to or send a referral in your behalf to get you the additional services. So we have things like integrated pest management, which is pretty much environmental services, or like it's beyond extermination. So it's just putting a bunch of different asthma friendly strategies together to remediate the problems with the mold, or using asthma friendly supplies and things like that. So we can link you up to those services, as well as if you need social services, if you're having issues with finding new housing, or you need help with securing food, so things like that, we can connect you to social services. So we do work close with social workers, so we're kind of right there with them. Or we can help you with legal services. We have had situations where patients are being forced out of their houses, getting evicted, or just dealing with really, really poor housing because the landlord just wants them out. Sometimes the landlord just doesn't want to deal with the person, and they do things on purpose, which is illegal, but these things do happen. So those are the linkage of care, those are the basic ones anyway that we have. And there's so much more other linkages, like it helping someone find maybe like childcare, or like a GED program, or job assistance. We try to partner up with a lot of other community-based organizations to help patients with that type of stuff. So yeah, so that's pretty much what it's looking like in the field of doing home environmental assessments, and just a brief overview of what that looks like. So I hope you learned something here today. Before we go, just know that we're here every Wednesday on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most of your podcast platforms, as well, or on YouTube on Thursdays. And if you're looking for any CEUs for asthma or PFT, we do have QHC seminars offering a good program for $259, and you have access to it for 1 year, and you could review it at your own leisure, and it will help you pass these exams and add these certifications and these additional letters behind your name, which I always tell people to go for. And so I think that's, just go for it. A new year's coming, start off right. So QHC seminars, I'm gonna put the description I'm gonna put the website in the description below. All right, guys, so yes, thank you so much. And I got a book. I be forgetting my own stuff. So if you are interested in this line of work, I do have a book. It's called Asthma Control Please, 9 Steps to Community Engagement to Asthma Awareness. So just summarizing all this stuff up in a book. I mean, I'm a communicator, so I try to make sure I cover all my bases. All right, guys. So once again, I hope you learned something new. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope to see you next week. And remember to invest in yourself and to only compete with yesterday's version of you. All right, guys. Bye.